Do you want to know the only two things that matter when selling online? In this video today, we break down the core elements. In fact, the only elements that matter when scaling an online business to 7 figures and beyond. Let's go. I've built and led multiple 7-figure Amazon brands. Now, I'm setting out to share how I did it, with radically transparent and detailed weekly videos. Join the journey with me and break free. Welcome to Heist. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Heist, the YouTube channel that deep dives into the strategies and tactics that work when scaling an e-commerce business. My name is Adam, and really the point of this channel and what makes it different, I think, is that my motivations are to put out my ideas to help other entrepreneurs, to find other entrepreneurs like me so that we can all get better together. The ideas aren't always right, sometimes they change, but the core intention is not to sell stuff, which I think is pretty unique. So the topic of today's video is really the core elements that are required to successfully sell stuff digitally and online. So thinking about this, there's a concept called first principles. What first principles means is to back down an idea or a concept to its core elements and its core truths. So said simply, what do you know to be true about a topic? So when we think about selling on Amazon or selling e-commerce products, what do we know to be true? Well, you might be doing this for altruistic intentions, but frankly, to be successful or to define success in the online e-commerce space basically means that you're getting sales, right? You're getting profitable sales and you're growing. Now you may have other intentions. Maybe you want to play a ukulele on the beach of Hawaii with Jack Johnson. That's great. Add that to your to-do list. But frankly, if we want to define success by its core elements, its first principles, it's selling stuff. And to sell stuff online, what do you need to do? Well, there's really just 2 things you need to do. The first, you want to drive traffic, and you need to drive traffic. And then you need to convert that traffic. So if you can drive traffic and you can convert it profitably, you get profitable sales, you grow, and you become successful with e-commerce, especially if you can do that at scale. So let's dive into each one of those elements and define how we can direct our efforts as e-commerce entrepreneurs. The first is traffic, and what I like to refer to as an orchestra of traffic from disparate and dynamic sources. You want to get as many people as possible to visit your product pages from as many traffic sources, inorganic, and keywords, organic, as possible. This is especially true for Amazon sellers. So to master inorganic traffic, it's really about mastering external ads, whether it be from Google, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, you name the platform, but driving external eyeballs, ideally with buying intent. The second is platform ads, regardless of where you sell. Using the pay-per-click platforms within that channel, be it Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and driving that already existing attentive traffic on that channel to drive that to your product page. And then finally, hired guns. Pay-to-play influencers and others in the space that you can pay to drive traffic to your listing, product, or e-commerce site. And then mastering organic traffic is an equally important part of that side of the equation. You've got to be really good if you're selling on Amazon or other platforms at keyword ranking and organically showing up as buyers with intent search for your product or your product keywords. And in the general e-commerce space, getting SEO, whether it be on other sites and platforms that are opinion-based and bring to the surface products and brands, or through organic search on platforms and search engines like Google, YouTube, etc. The second is mastering content and evergreen links. Content that drives interest, that aligns with buyers in your particular category and that can live on from the time you create it for weeks, months, and years into the future to add compounding leverage to your traffic. And leverage is a critical element of organic traffic. Then there's affiliates and partnerships that you don't necessarily have to pay to drive eyeballs, but you may pay based on a behavior, or you might have mutual interests where you can lock arms and mutually drive traffic together. And then finally, the tried and true mechanism for all of business and growth, word of mouth. If you've got a good brand, you've got a good product, people will talk about it, they'll tell their friends about it, and there's ways to instigate that voice so that the compounding leverage and impact of the voice of your customers carries out and builds additional traffic to your business, product, and brand. So traffic, key element number 2 in core principles to be successful selling anything online. The second is obviously converting that traffic into a financial event or a sale. So you want to compel as many visitors, as much of that traffic as possible to take action, to add to cart, and to ultimately buy what it is that you're selling. And there's multiple layers to conversion, right? It's not just as simple as, hey, you're here, buy it. There's multiple layers. It may be first getting an email address, signing up on a list, getting a PDF. Then they may want to add it to cart. That's another conversion. Getting them to click on something, that's conversion. The ultimate end effect is getting them to buy it, and then ideally buying more of it or coming back to buy so the LTV is fully captured. So elements to focus on and master for conversion. The first and probably most important is having the right offer. An offer is more than just price. It's all of the elements of a product that somebody shopping online will see and take in to evaluate what you have versus what others in the space may have. So you've got to get that offer right, and focusing on the offer is probably one of the most critical and most important elements of having good conversion. The second is differentiation. What is different about what you're bringing to the table? Ideally, that could be a visual differentiation, especially if you're selling physical products. What is it about the look of it, especially in comparison to what else is out there, that will drive interest and ultimately get people to add it to cart and purchase? The next, tying in again with visual differentiation, is the visuals. What does your photography look like? What do your lifestyle shots look like? What do your videos look and feel like? What emotions come out as people take in the content and the visuals and the photography and the creative assets of your brand? The typeface, the look, the colors. And then weaving that in with copy, the voice of your brand, how you tell stories, how you reveal the emotional ties and interests that customers have with the words that you use to describe your product or offering. And then the overarching envelope of the brand. What's the name? What's the feel? What's the vibe? What emotions and sentiments do I get when I take it all in and absorb your brand experience? Do that right, and you can convert the hell out of people online. And then social proof. It's one thing for you to say it, but are there trusted voices that share what your product and story is all about? Are there customer reviews and sentiments that I can find online that I can leverage in my information calculation when I'm buying a product? If you have good social proof, that's one of the most powerful elements to converting customers, especially if it's cold traffic or traffic unaware of your product or brand. And then finally, you've got to have qualified traffic up front. If you get unqualified traffic, even if you get a lot of these elements right, you may not convert them. So if your product is at a price point, for example, that's premium, and somebody may literally just not have the money to transact, even if they love everything about your product. You know, I might love a freaking Lambo, right? But if I don't have 200 grand or the ability to get a loan for a $3,000 a month car note, like, guess what? I might love the brand. I might love the visuals. I might think the offers kick ass, but I'm not buying a damn Lamborghini. So you've got to have qualified traffic and understand the mind and the capabilities of your buyer to transact and finding the right folks that can pull the trigger. So looking at first principles thinking, to be successful selling anything in e-commerce, you got to have sales. To get sales, you've got to have traffic, an orchestra of traffic, and then you've got to convert it. So you get traffic and you convert it and you win. And I'll just leave you with this important question. It's important to have these voices, these idioms, these questions that you can ask yourself as you build and grow your business. Ask yourself this: if it doesn't drive traffic and it doesn't drive conversion, why am I doing it? And if you can't answer those questions, you probably should be putting your money, attention, and effort in things that will do one of those two things. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's important to take a step back, think strategically about your business, and keeping in mind traffic and conversion are some of the most fundamental things you can do to step up your game, to become successful with e-commerce, and to grow and scale. Stay tuned for next week. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. We're going to go back to our seller story series and interview somebody that I just really dig in the space, who is Tom Wang, who recently had a heavy 7-figure exit, one of the thought leaders in the Amazon channel space. And we get into his full story from an immigrant to Canada to his most recent exit and everything in between. So subscribe if you haven't already. Hang around because we will drop that next week and hope to have you guys here for it. Cheers.